Yo, what's up, people? Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Party Life and Music Radio. I go by the name of DJ Wahid.
And I am DJ FX.
Yes. And today we have a special guest in the building. Well, I wouldn't say in our building, but she is safe from home. We got NYC's own Vero G. Yo, I got a bomb-ass track from her. Man, she sent it to me like almost a couple months ago, and we went to the bring her out in March. The track is called Come With Me, featuring Cuban Link. Yo, What are your thoughts about the track, man?
The track is hot like fire, like the best New York pizza I've ever had. That's all I can say, because I love me some New York pizza.
yeah, for real, man. I miss it too. But that's for another show and another episode, right? But look, I got a mix coming up with the track in the mix, so I want y'all to sit back. I want y'all to groove with it. I want y'all to vibe with it. Again, I put her song in the mix, so other DJs out there, if you're listening, at least you know how to play her music, how to rock it. And we'll be right back with our guest, Vero G. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Hey, I'm Ariana Grande.
Hey, yo, this Cardi B. What's up? It's Megan Thee Stallion.
You're in the mix with Party Life and Music Radio.
DJ Wahid on the count.
Toto y el frío. Guayen, la ganja ella la prendió y yo le di el sac pase. Ahí fue que ella me sorprendió cuando me dijo que hay pa' hacer y con ese culo ella seguió. Un flow cabrón como el que tengo yo. Bailando ella todo me lo dio. Voy a explotar esa mina, lo juro con mi vida. Con ese culo ella seguió. Está caliente buscando placer. Si ella lo quiere se lo pongo yo. Voy a explotar esa mina, lo juro por mi vida. Que flow tan hueputa, ten cuidado que te quema. Donde llega Raycon se putea el sistema. Las chimbas se me insinúan y no les da ni pena. Aunque sea chimba ajena, billetes de 100, a los babones estamos bien. ¿Quién me va a enfrentar? Dime quién. Y yo bien mal parido, ay qué rico, Dios mío. A la final todos son hijos míos. Y ella tiene un movimiento de cadera. Aunque intente, no encuentro la manera. Lo enrola y lo prende y yo bien delincuente. De cabeza no te salva aunque tú toques madera.
El verde se enfoca en esta nea. Pon esas caderas a que boten candela. Está completa como una cazuela. Te voy a gastar toda esa suela. Marihuana, hace split de banana. Morena como tabaco en La Habana. De culo grande con flow de Rihanna. Estamos viviendo como en el cuello la cubana. Entre más pegadita mejor. En tensión me dejo. Lo juro por mi vida que
con ese culo ella seguió. Un flow cabrón como el que tengo yo. Bailándome ella todo me lo dio. Voy a explotar esa mina, lo juro por mi vida que con ese culo ella seguió. Está caliente buscando placer. Si ella lo quiere se lo pongo yo. Voy a explotar esa mina, lo juro por mi vida.
Si yo te había dicho que no quería casarme, iba a darme ese anillo, ahora me toca quedarme. Ahora te toca fajarte, tú eres como de Marte, quejarte, quiero darte, pero no vaya a quejarte. Ella seguí yo, tiro un punchline que ni yo, pero fui yo el que le dio fueguillo. Acá en el corillo, mami, cero grillo. En mi bando, allá está Raycon liderando. Mientras que los friki en la trilla, las baby rastrilla, un par y alcantarilla, ella bella si sequilla. Tenemos más babilla que las de la cosa, ahora di que quiere con los dos. Se fue así.
El vestido el que se lo quite fui yo. A ese culo grande voy a darle latigo. Se rebeldizó cuando la mamá la pilló y me confesó que ese culo monetizó. No me mires así, quieres que te lo empaque. Champón en la pista, yo hago que machuque. Hasta abajo dale reina, te puse en jaque. Coco, loco y mari, pa' que te arrebate. Un rol y por medallo con todos los juguetes. Mi baby seguillo, nadie como ella le mete. Mi baby seguillo y el rayo le rastrillo. Tiene casa, tiene carro, yo nací, me pide juguete. Con ese culo ella seguido. Un flow cabrón como el que tengo yo. Bailándome ella todo me lo dio. Voy a explotar esa mina, lo juro por mi vida. Y con ese culo ella seguido. Un flow cabrón como el que tengo yo. Bailando ella todo me lo dio. Voy a explotar esa mina, lo juro con mi vida.
What do you say? Fue la regla, Cuban Link.
Vero G, vente conmigo. Come with me.
Mami, vente conmigo. Sé que tú no estás contenta con él. Se te ve en tus ojos perdido. él ya no te sabe querer.
Vente conmigo. Come with me. Vente conmigo. Come with me. Come with me. Can't you see we're meant to be? Give me a love, just one shot to make you mine. Show you to love you and blow your mind. Tú eres mío, yo soy tuya. A love so divine.
Yeah. Show me your love. Yeah.
You're tuned in to Party Life and Music Radio.
Show me your love.
DJ Wahi.
Mami, vente conmigo. Sé que tú no estás contenta con él. Se te ve en tus ojos perdido. Él ya no te sabe querer. Chiquitica, vente conmigo. Pa' poder acariciarte tu piel. Darte besitos de cabeza hasta el ombligo. Ven conmigo, olvídate de él. So baby, are you gonna come with me? Ven, mami, let me set you free. I need to know right now. Are you down to ride or die? Ride da 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 da.
You're the one for me. Boy, papi, I'ma follow your lead. And I'ma hold you down till the day I die. Cause you're my guy, my ride
I bet your man can't do it like that. No cap, still at 24 karat gold Mac. Let's throw back rapper that'll give you no slack. Hold that, I'ma freak you till your eyes roll back. And have your toes tapping like a ballerina when you up in my arena. Give you that vitamina, make you proud to be Latina. And change your whole demeanor, it'll have you feeling leaner. From the way you talk to the way que tú caminas. Word of Selena, I've been dreaming of you, even you do. So we can do what we've been meaning to do. It's us two, no one else needs to be in the crew. Up in the mountaintop together, overseeing the view. Am I being a fool? And believing that you love me and always thinking of me. Girl, why don't you just leave? It must be a reason, don't hush me. You told me to trust you, now trust me. Mami, vente conmigo. Sé que tú no estás contenta con él. Se te ve en tus ojos perdido. Él ya no te sabe querer. Chiquitica, vente conmigo. Pa' poder acariciarte tu piel. Darte besitos de cabeza hasta el ombligo. Ven con besitos de cabeza hasta el ombligo. Ven con besitos de cabeza hasta el ombligo.
You're tuned in to Party Life and Music Radio. You're tuned in to Party Life and Music Radio. Wahi.
Don't know what you're saying. It's not that complicated. So why don't we just clear the air? All this time we're wasting, and I've been more than patient. It feels like you don't seem to care. And all of my life I know it's you I've been looking for. I just can't let you go. Baby, I just wanna love
S.O. Come give me best so. You done had the rest though. Now you with the best so. We could blow the best roll. Coming from the West Coast. You could tell I get though. Just know I'ma put it on your ma. If I didn't rap, I might be a porno star. Something wrong if it ain't shoes on the car. You ain't rocking with the Swizzy and the Don. But back to the way you move and your cavalli. Body like J-Lo, faces like Holly. Hot as a tamale or the sun out in Cali. No, she gon' make it dolly. Ho!
You're tuned in to Party Life and Music Radio.
En el cuello pa' calmar la sed. Mi mano en tu cadera pa' empezar. Como ves, no le vamos a bajar más nunca, mamá. Baila, placata, placata. Como ella lo mueve, sin parar, sin parar. Ganas de comerte, ahora son más fuertes. Quiero tenerte y no te voy a negar. Estamos claros y ya. No te lo voy a negar.
Check this out, it's DJ Khaled. This is Post Malone.
Yeah, it's that little Chico Pitbull.
You're in the mix with Party Life and Music Radio.
Last night I had two. Vegas where it's always getting real. Something sexy about them pretty, keep it hood. They just seen show me what I feel. Let your body see. I said she freaking on me. The way she move that to the beat. Now everybody see. She's the freak of the week. You got your body speaking to me.
Step, step, step to the party like a OG. Party jumping, neighbors can't go sleep. Now the neighbors trying to call the police. Say you a freak, show me how freaky. And she got moves like bad gallery. Said he hit it right, go ham when he tapped that. Your last 10 seconds, man, you been Snapchat. Hit it in a car, hit it in a house, hit it in a bar, hit it on the couch. Meet me outside, jump in the ride. If she ain't mine, then she probably would come holler at me.
I'ma grab your waist. Okay, how much long gon' take? I wait, came with that. No, you should be my. She is a freak of the week. The way that body speaking of me. Now everybody, she is a freak of the week. You got your body speaking of me.
La verdad es que contigo lo intenté. Sé lo que es amar. Llevar a alguien en la piel. Lo que sentí por ti nunca lo llegó a hacer. Solo debes entender. Te quise, si lo hice. En oscuras y mesuras no eras nadie al amanecer. Tú, que contaminas lo que tocas con tu sucia boca. Bebiste de otra copa, caíste bien bajo, pegaste fama, no comiste barato, que quede bien claro. Tú, no fuiste, no eres, no serás nada.
You're tuned in to Party Life and Music Radio.
DJ Wahi on the top.
De tu mente no me borrarás. Ahora que estoy activa, encendida. En la calle, en la revista, hasta en tu cama me vas a encontrar. Apostaste y jugaste mal. Tú nunca vas a encontrar. Tú no sabes que no. Una que lo haga como yo, que se mueva como yo. Tú, que contaminas lo que tocas con tu sucia boca. Bebiste de otra copa, caíste bien bajo, pegaste y con mano, comiste barato, que quede bien claro. Tú, no fuiste, no eres, no serás nada.
Old school, new school, no. DJ Wahi, give it to you hard, just like you wanted it.
From you looking at me, I can make you say you want me. When you gonna give it up to me? Because your body enticing me, making me horny. When you gonna give it up to me? Well, if I not today, girl, then I must see tomorrow. When you fulfill my fantasy, because you know I give you love and shade like an arrow. When you gonna give it up to me? So back it up there. So pack it up, yeah, cause I wanna be the man that's really gonna have it up. I mark it up and slap it up, yeah. So what is up, yeah, you know you got this sitting and I'm about to develop and I swell up and double up, yeah. So give me the work, yeah, cause if you not give it up, the blue balls are erupt, yeah. So rev it up, the girl want try your luck, yeah, cause when you stir it up, you know me have to measure up, yeah. From you looking at me, I girl, me say you want me. When you gonna give it up to me? Because your body enticing me, making me horny. When you gonna give it up to me? Well, if I not today, girl, then I must see tomorrow. When you fulfill my fantasy, because you know I give you love and shade like an arrow. When you gonna give it up to me? Hey, pretty girl, so me love to see you walk. And I habla English for just listen when me a talk. It's a one up for me, y'all. Woman, you got me caught. You ever in me thoughts and I left me in the dark, in the first place, yeah, that's where you belong. So just let me flip the switch, woman, I can turn it on and give you the passion from dusk till
You're
dawn.
tuned in
Tell
to
me if
Party
you want
Life
it,
and
fig one.
Music
My
Radio.
girl, so from you looking at me, I girl, me say you want me. When you gonna give it up to me? Because your body enticing me, making me horny. When you gonna give it up to me? Well, if I not today, girl, then I must see tomorrow. When you fulfill my fantasy, because you know I give you love and shade like a day. Because you know I give you love and shade like a day. Because you know I give you love and shade like a day. Because you know I give you love and shade like a day. Because you know I give you love and shade like a day. Because you know I give you love and shade.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back. Hope everybody enjoyed that mix. Yo, FX, what'd you think of the track, man?
Track, like I said, it was just, oh man, it was just awesome. It was hot, fire. Man, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed it because I know I was enjoying it.
All right, well, look, we can't keep y'all waiting any longer. We've been talking about this for the past few weeks. We got the one and only NYC's own Vero G. Girl, what's up?
Hey, guys, I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
we're doing great during
Excellent.
despite the pandemic. You know,
right. You gotta take it when you can.
Of course. Awesome. But I just want to thank you guys for having me on the show. I'm so honored. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Oh, no worries, no problem at all. Thank you for sending us that track. Come with me. Yeah, look, before we get into you, let's give an example. Like, talk about the track. What inspired that track? Because things we talked about, man, is that we definitely heard that Pac influence, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So
definitely. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. What inspired that track?
Yeah. So actually, real quick backstory to that. I met Cuban Link around over like a year ago or so, and actually more than that, and through a mutual friend, and we just always communicated through Instagram and stuff. And then one day he was on my show. We talked a little bit afterwards and said, hey, what if we would do a collaboration together? He was like, yeah, I'm down with it. Just let me know. And then months after that, we just started talking, and we got our management involved with it. And then the rest is history, and we made this amazing collaboration together. It's like a reggaeton, hip hop, pop kind of vibe to it, you could say. And basically, it's bilingual, Spanish and English. Where basically he's telling me, leave your man, get with me. I'm better than that. I could treat you better, and you know how it is. You know how these love songs are, and yeah, it was really cool. And just to work with him alongside with this amazing project is great. And yeah, it's just everything came into flow. And then I guess how he is with with the Pac situation. That's his thing. He did that, his twist to it. But it was just great, just having him part of it, and just bringing New York City, bring that New York City flavor.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm in total agreement with that. But look, let's get started with you. Okay. And going over your bio, and it said that you've been singing since the age of 7. I mean,
yes.
7 years old, driving your family crazy at the house, or it's just like, oh, she got a beautiful voice. Which one is it? Which version of the story are you going to talk about today?
That's a good question. That's a good one. Yeah, at the age of 7, I just knew something was different about me as a child, and just hearing music and just knowing when to hear when the next part of it will come out, and it was just intertwined into what my lifestyle was overall. And I feel like at that time I just started developing the gift, as they say, and just going to school and getting try to be good with my grades and stuff. And down the line, I did the school choir in my school for elementary, I think junior high school actually. And then down the line, I fell in love with it. It was just music was a passion of mine, and I just continue on. And at that moment, my mother and my dad, they instilled that in me at a very young age. Like, if you want to do something, go for it, no matter what the situation is. And they and to this moment, even now, talking about to you guys and to your listeners, I just utilize that into everything I do in life, and it motivates me. And as like I said, being a kid, I did kind of drove my mom a lot, like, yeah, shut the, bleep up, can you stop singing over those songs, Spanish songs, English songs? And I'm like, Mom, come on, because back in the days, kids don't know now how it was rough back in the days when you heard the song you love and you had to whenever time it came, you would just sing your heart out. So that's what I used to do, wait for the right song come out. Yeah, and it was crazy, man. But it was a great experience, just going through that as a kid and just embracing music and loving it at the same time.
Okay. All right. So I guess it would be safe to say that's probably maybe one of the moments that you felt like, you know what, singing is for me.
Thinking. Definitely.
Yeah, because again, it was 7 years old. That's when you realize that gift came early. You know what I mean? But definitely. Also outside of singing, there's you have a lot of titles to your name here: singer, songwriter, model, actress, poet, host, screenwriter. Is there anything else you can't do?
I'm trying to get into painting, like oil painting and stuff. So that's gonna take a long while for me to get used to. But I actually want to get into that eventually. Yeah.
Okay, all right, because we're waiting on those paintings.
Well, my first one, I'll definitely send out to you guys.
Sweet.
Appreciate that, because how many people try to hit us up on IG talking about you need a graphic designer, you need somebody for logos and and all this other stuff, and I'm sitting there going, all right, that's cool that get your hustle on, but I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know you.
That is
You
true.
know, so I'm just curious, like at the age of 7, what songs were you trying to sing? Because I mean, I see who your influences are, and I definitely hear it. But what songs were you trying to sing when you started out?
Oh man, I see. I don't want to tell my age now. Oh man. Okay, so, back in the days, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, those were like the legends. Even till now to this day, but back then when they started out, I loved them and emulated them and just wanted to just be like them, like they're my role models and stuff like that. And I just heard their music and I'll pretend I'm like with the hairbrush. You know how we all did back then, the hairbrush and sing in the mirror, and you're like, stuff like that. You're like, oh, am I good or not? But hey, I'll try. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you on that because I mean, you had sent me some other tracks as well, and I definitely see an R&B. I hear a lot of the fusion of R&B and the reggaeton
Yeah.
style,
Thank you.
which is cool. So just a balance of everything, especially coming from the LES, and it's one of those things where when I hear it. It's like, okay, I hear a lot of the different flavors, a lot of stuff in this melting pot of music and of sound. And my question to you is, what is your goal within the next 2 years from now in terms of following up with that hot single you sent us?
Oh yes, definitely. Actually, you guys are like the first ish to know a little bit. As we
Mm-hmm.
speak, I'm actually gonna be working. I'm going back to the studio maybe like a month from now, and I'm definitely trying to drop 2 more EP albums out. So I'm already having some things lined up right now. I won't say too much, but just there's more new music coming along. New music coming along. So stay tuned for that. Definitely.
All
Yeah.
right, you hear her, listeners? I mean, she's talented, she's
Thank
humble,
you.
modest, and my thing is when we have a talented artist in front of us, we want more music. We want more, more,
Ooh.
more, more. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? So
Thank you. I
not only
appreciate that.
us, but our fans, we're gonna want more. So this is one of those times where you gotta like, look, I got this coming up. I got this coming up. You
Yeah.
may not have the dates ready, but we're definitely looking forward to it. Do you agree, FX?
Oh, I agree wholeheartedly. Because again, when you have music that's coming from a fire artist, that just has just quality work, and like you say, you hear the nuances of, artists from yesteryear. Already mentioned Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey. So it's like
Legends.
So it's like we're looking for some newer stuff. But that's not to say that the music that's out right now is not fire. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, because I'm looking at your first debut album, which was Trials and Tribulations, right?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, so I was thinking, I was like, okay, I'm hearing the title, but at the same time, it's like there's always some kind of source that pushed you to create that album. Like, what said, like, you know what? Like, I need to create this album, this first album, and push this out. Like, what got you into that?
Oh, awesome, definitely. So when I did that album, that was a couple years back. Actually, a big shout out to my former music producer, Cool Breeze, and we actually put some work into the album. We did a couple collaborations on there. Actually, I think it's "Thinking of You" or something. I don't know which song exactly is in there, but it's a couple songs we did together as well. He's also an artist. But besides that, the album itself, Trials and Tribulations, actually reflects things I went through personally. Going through, and I mentioned here being a domestic violence survivor, a rape victim, going through so much in my life and overcoming it. And I utilize that. I always say, as an artist, you have to utilize your pain and your story to put it into your music. And I felt like with the debut album, Trials and Tribulations, it was a platform or a plateau, as they say, to show people what my music is about and to continue on from that point on.
Sweet.
Thank
Yeah, because
you.
I did see a couple of the songs, because I think it was like your first single, Addicted.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely a first song there. And I think there was another one, I think Don't Be a Sinner. I
Oh
believe was it.
wow! Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the one I did with him. Okay, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro, you already throwbacks. Oh my God.
Yeah, so I was like, yo, that's pretty cool, and then I'm seeing Clueless as well with like as you say with Cool Breeze, so that's definitely some hot tracks there. So yeah, so I'm seeing with the second album, your sophomore album, The Rise of Vero G, and it looks like that it's like a carryover from your first album, so it's kind of like the Phoenix Rising, you know what I mean, like coming out of the ashes. So like, how did that album like come about? Like, what decided to say, you know what, I'm going to create this album here?
No, definitely, definitely. With that in mind, it took some time to basically from the first album, Trials and Tribulations, to go forth the second album with the Rise of Mero G, and basically you pretty much self explained it. It's basically, like the phoenix and rising up and getting to your plateau to where you're going now, as from behind before that, and just the album is amazing. It has a lot of great genres in there in the album itself, from bachata, I believe, to hip hop, R&B. It's a little bit of everything there, and I just wanted to have a moment where people could see more of who I am as an artist in the music in the album.
All right, sounds good. So I will
Thank you.
mention that if anybody wants to pick up the second album, if they haven't already, which they should have, shame on them if they didn't get it. But but you do have "Coming from Mine," "Summer Loving," and I love, I can't wait for the summer myself. So I'm just saying, and "Mother's Lullaby." So that's a few tracks that I'm seeing here from your second album. So yeah, so like I said, if they don't have it, they need to get it. Because I'm one of those ones like like if I hear something just hot and nobody's told me about it, I get angry.
No, I understand.
Yeah, he
it's like you should have told me about this before. Like,
yeah, he gets online and start threatening people. But yeah, he's joking about that.
Okay, that's all right. I'm like, okay, that's good. That's good. Awesome.
But I want to also get into like I said, the other aspects of the entertainment industry that you're involved in, because I do see that you do online radio, online podcasts, and also you are part of a collective, and I believe this is the independent label of FME, that is Fan Music Entertainment.
Yes. For FME, I'm no longer with that group, unfortunately. But I had the chance to work with for a very brief time, and big shout out to Jeremy Ortiz. He actually was the founder, and Daisy Brown for that. They put that together. But yeah, it was a great experience with that in mind, and I just continued to work on my solo career for that moment. And as you mentioned, the other things I'm doing now with radio and that, it took a while. I'll be honest with you guys. From being an independent artist to now branching out as an entrepreneur and branching out your brand. And just putting yourself out there. It's being vulnerable, but at the same time, you're showing people what you're about, and you just love what you do and you have a passion for it. Especially with now, like what the radio mentioned. A big shout out to DTF Radio. It's every Wednesdays, guys. You guys could check it out. It's called the Vero G Spotlight Radio Show. It's at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. It's myself, host Vero G, co-host the Loudmouth and Gemini Stacks. And basically, what the platform we actually. True story. We branched out from that before we was on TV, and we're still doing TV on the side when we can because of COVID and everything. But yeah, definitely. And with that, we branched that towards the radio because of mine. The concept to our platform is basically uplifting and inspiring people, especially artists, independent artists out there. I know how you definitely you know how it is as being an independent artist out there. You're struggling. You're trying to get yourself out there. You're trying to get all the opportunities you can to get even be heard. So with that in mind, I've been doing it for a long time. I said, I want to provide this platform for all my upcoming peers to get that moment, that shine they need, so they could boost up their confidence and help them along the way with the career and what things they need and resources. And I feel like that was something I instilled in me, forgive me, for in helping people, and that's what we're doing since then for the platform we provide for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So it sounds like that you have a lot of information to give out to a lot of people, because I was just looking here that you have some poetry that you've written and some books that you have written. So just like you said, being the entrepreneur that you are, you got a plethora of information.
Thank you so much.
And that allows me or pushes me to ask this question about your YouTube channel that I believe that you have out. So I'm thinking that you're using that platform to get out some new music, some new projects, I do believe.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, I basically, you guys could check it out. My YouTube channel is Vero G Spotlight TV Network. We also, besides being on YouTube, we also are on Amazon Prime. I think it's Amazon Fire TV. Forgive me. And we're also on Roku. So you could just check out on that name itself, and you could guys subscribe. It's free, download or what do you want to call it. and we appreciate that. But yeah, I basically utilize that platform as well to, promote my stuff as well, music, anything with the radio, or anything that other promotions I put out there just to promote, and yeah, pretty much that's about with that, you know.
Okay,
Nice,
yeah. Because
nice.
a
Thank
question that
you.
comes to mind is, what do you do when artists submit your music to you, and some of them, not all, but some of them need to go back into the studio, or as they say, go back to the lab.
Right.
Okay, that's
And
a
and
really good question.
and part of the reason I asked that, because FX and I, we get hit up a lot.
Oh
Check
no,
out my
Yeah.
definitely.
SoundCloud, check out my Mixcloud,
Yeah.
listen
Oh
to my
yeah.
track. Are you trying to do this? Are you trying to do that?
No,
And
no, definitely.
and as an independent artist, you got to be able to say, hey, this is what you need to do, or this is what you need to do to change this, and just have your own sound. So what do you tell artists, that come up to you, that hit you in your DMs and say, hey, I got my stuff, can you check it out and play it? What would you suggest
Definitely.
for them?
Yeah, sure, definitely. But the thing is, I have had a few people contact me, either on Instagram or on Facebook or on either email. They're like, hey, usually they sometimes they don't even send you their name, so you gotta
Mm,
like be tricky with that. So I always
yeah.
tell artists, like, look, listen, if you really gotta, if you want to put yourself out there, you have to embrace yourself as an artist first. Your name, if you
Mhm.
submit music, make sure it's always MP3 format. Make sure the title and the name of the song, because I'm not Houdini. I can't figure out what song is it. If I play it, I'm like, what's the title of the song? So I couldn't stand
Right.
it. Definitely. But overall, I mean, the advice I usually give to these amazing independent artists out there that are working
Hmm.
hard and putting their time and dedication to each of their songs or albums or anything they're doing. Overall, I just I do listen. I listen. I say, okay, this is good, not bad. And usually I just give them positive criticism. If sometimes it may be not that great, I'd be like, hey, listen, keep on working, keep pushing yourself out there, and just maybe there's some things you should change a little bit. And I just do it politely, because they're going through enough as it is, and especially now with
Yeah.
COVID, it affected
Mm.
everybody financially, and it's just been really difficult. So with that in mind, I just been, I just have to, they come at me and they tell me, hey, look, can you check this out? I check it out, like their YouTube links, or like you said, their SoundCloud or anything of that nature. I check it out, and I get the feedback, or I'd be like, well, you want to be a part of what I'm doing, we'll work it out. And that's pretty much about it.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because we've definitely had artists. We've done showcases and stuff like that,
Awesome.
where they'll come up to the booth and they'll say, okay, well, they're looking, to have their
Hmm.
tracks played to show off their skills,
Yeah.
and a lot of times, be it a CD or maybe some on the flash drive,
Oh
and they're like,
yeah.
yeah, where they're like, yeah, play track one, and you play track one, and be like, no, 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 that's not it. My bad, my bad. That's not it.
Oh
Track
man.
five.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Give me
So.
memory lane. Oh my god.
Yeah, so when you was mentioning that, because a lot of times I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, I don't know where this came from, but I don't think you want to
Exactly.
play this now, So you're better than me in that regard. So because I
No,
know
it's
that
okay.
there are artists out there who are good, very good, and just have that rough start, and
Yes.
they're looking for that feedback where they say, okay, what should I change? What should I do better? What should I take out? Stuff like that. Because there are artists that have actually come to us and asked us, like, what do you think? Like, give me your
Yeah.
honest opinion. Like, don't just say, like you like it or something like that. If you really like it, that's cool. But
Exactly.
like, give us that honest feedback. So it's a good thing that you do. And
Thank
in
you.
that, as an artist, entrepreneur and independent artist, I know
Mhm.
there's times where you may feel like, you know what? Like, is it really worth it? Am I really good enough to really showcase this and that? And what I would like to know, and my question to you is,
Sure.
what would you tell artists that when you get to that state, like how do you pull yourself out of that state of, should I just quit? That kind of thing. Like, what would you tell them?
Yeah, that funk.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That is a really good question. Now I could answer it both ways. Now, me personally, I have experienced that in the beginning many years ago, and even till now, because of with COVID, it kind of stopped us. Trying to do shows and stuff like that, and being an artist, you're trying to get booked as much as you can to get yourself out there. So in a way, it was a setback for me personally because it did give me time with the Victory album, the third album, to actually
Mm.
create that album as of last year when COVID started, and it gave me time to be as an artist to be creative and kind of be different and try to put things together and see how the sounds are and everything else. But and now as of the what you mentioned with that, now as for other artists, particularly I feel it's a hardship. It's hard because like I said, being an independent artist, you got to put money in studio time. You have to put money in anything that you do, and people don't really see that. They say, oh, it's great, because you get the only thing that's a great thing about it. You have control, creativity control of your own
Mhm.
work.
Mhm.
But if you have somebody's backing you or a mainstream label or whatever you want to call it, then that's
Mm.
when it kind of changes the name of the game. With that in mind. But I feel like with other artists, it's been a hardship because I know with COVID, it's kind of hurt everybody financially, with that in mind. And I feel like a lot of artists should utilize time to just get back on their craft. And I know they're gonna have moments, and I have experience to trust me, so I know they have probably went through that same situation where like, is my music really affecting people? Is it, when I get awards, because a lot of people, everybody does things differently. Their intentions maybe not, oh, I want to just do it because I'm famous. A lot of people do it because I want to be famous or big, and
Mhm.
some
Mhm.
people take it as a hobby. Some people just take it as something for the moment. But it's about how much the person is dedicated to the game. If you got to go out there with blood, sweat, and tears and sacrifice and put your stuff out there and try as much as you can. If you really want this, and this is for all the artists out there listening in, and anybody for that matter. And just listen, my advice to you is if you really, really want this so bad, you have to put your money and time and dedication to this because
Mm.
it's a craft.
Yep.
This is
Yep.
Mhm.
yeah. Nobody's gonna give
Mm.
you excuse my language. Nobody's gonna give you anything for free. You know what I'm saying in that sense. And you have to go out there and reach and get it as much as you can. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, amen to that because I know
Mhm.
Thank you.
myself and FX as DJs, we
Mhm.
put a lot of time
Yes.
and money
Mhm.
and commitment, research to
Definitely.
do what we do just as DJs. And in a sense, we are producers because we are producing this soundtrack, not only for this broadcast, but when we do live events.
Yes.
And I'm just curious now, from your experiences, has anyone from the majors ever approached you with a production deal or a songwriting project or things of that nature, or at least not as of yet?
It's funny. Somebody else asked me the same question, and I'll be honest with you. And people tell me like you're really good, or and I tell people be honest with the same thing you mentioned with other artists. Be straight with me because I need to have maybe good criticism and bad criticism to perfect what I do. But
Mhm.
now back to that question, I would say honestly no. Really haven't nobody ever really contacted me. I mean like I have a few here independent labels that had contacted me, but at the moment I am with the
Cool.
management. Yeah, cool. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling because you're like, oh, I'm out here hustling, trying to do what I gotta do,
Right.
yeah, I'm trying to
Right,
get my name
right,
out
right.
there, yeah,
Exactly.
definitely, guys, and but now I am with the management, as we speak, independent management, but as for the moment, but I just feel, I mean, I told the other person, I think it's timing, because sometimes, maybe at the moment you feel like, you're not that great at what you're doing, but you just got to keep pushing and keep perfecting
Mhm.
your craft. And
Mhm.
overall, I feel like maybe just right now is not the time, maybe, but down the line, if that happens, that's great.
All right, because I mean, and just to follow up with that as well, because you mentioned earlier about the benefit of being an independent artist. I
Mm.
mean, you have
Yes.
not only artistic control, but
Mhm.
also you have control of your works.
Of your work, right?
Yes.
And yeah,
Yes.
and copyrights and trademarks are so important in this game.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. Oh
Publishing
yeah.
is so important in this game that you can't put in all the work, go to the studio, make the effort, make the masters, and then somebody else, oh yeah, takes control of it and tell you what you
Mm-mm.
can and cannot do with your own stuff.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
not a great
Right.
feeling.
Oh no, of course not. Actually, true story. Not to sidetrack on that, but I just heard. I think I was watching something, or it was on YouTube or somewhere, where they said Anita Baker is actually. I think she's something about her master. Same thing.
Yeah.
After all these years, she's suing now because that's her music, was saying, and that's a mainstream artist, so that's many years ago. But as you mentioned, as the same thing, guys, like, a lot of artists have to be educated. Yeah, like you meant publishing rights. You have to know about your royalties. You have to know about copyright. You have to copyright your work. Make sure the beats you got is not YouTube, and just make money, and not make sure you do it right. Like, I just did this not too long ago. I spoke to somebody about this, especially with YouTube beats. You know how they say it's free, it's not free. You have to buy it or get exclusive rights, because what happens is, if you get a sample, for example, and this happened to Kanye West years ago, he got sued for it. A lot of independent artists out there just want to get music out there, just want to push it out. You have to also know the behind the scenes behind it. You have to make sure everything is written down, paperwork behind it, copyright. Like you said, make sure your thing's legit, that nobody steals your work. You have to know these little things, because down the line it's gonna benefit you as an artist.
Yep.
That's a good tip. That's a good
Thank
tip.
you.
So
Appreciate
any artist out there that's actually trying to bootleg their beats off of YouTube,
don't do it.
Y'all just heard y'all heard what not to do. Y'all just heard it.
Exactly. And also, this is something I realized too, working dealing with a lot of independent artists out there, is they have to be registered, because if you're not registered, you're not making no money. Especially with the song, especially you get a copyright. Okay, let's say you get that done. That's a process. Then if you're registered, let's say with BMR or ASCAP, that's great, because down the line you're protected. When you do showcases and your song is registered, you get paid for that royalty check, performance royalty check. Or if your song gets hit, it gets in TV and it's copyright and everything's protected, you're making money just sitting and hearing your shit. Your stuff on TV.
No, you're good. We're
I'm
on
sorry,
the
okay.
we're on the internet.
Okay,
So,
okay. I don't want to curse.
Yeah, no, it's like no, we are not silenced.
we're not censored over here. So
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like holding a lot of curse words in my bag. I was like holding it in.
Yeah. There's no Nielsen ratings here, so
okay, good. That's good. That's good to know. Oh God, no, but seriously, like you said, and these are things that people don't know, like mechanical royalties, performance royalties, TV and movie royalties. These are things that are entitled to you as an artist. So utilize and educate yourself. That's a big thing, with, like I said, publishing. I could go on and on, but these are things that you need to know.
Yeah, that is important. I know I got my ASCAP papers in a frame on my wall, so I know.
Awesome. Yes. Awesome, guys. I love that.
But one of the things that we definitely want to know is that, when was your last live show? In terms of performing pre-COVID?
Wow. Actually, the last show I hosted is actually I think they got shut down. Karma Lounge. That's actually by, I think, First Avenue, Lower East Side, I think, or Lower Manhattan. And that was actually in March, right before COVID came out last year.
Wow.
No lie. Yeah. So I actually made a year. My last performance. Yeah. So that's cool. Yeah. It sucks, man. It sucks. I need work.
Trust me, you're not the only one, because just like with a lot of artists, DJs as well, and really just businesses in general. And as you already know, with the pandemic, that just slowed everything down. So so you have a lot of people like, like we just right here sitting and waiting for everything to uplift, because otherwise it's like, for a lot of them, that's their main sole purpose or source of income. So so yeah, we're definitely looking for that. But one thing I do want to ask, because like I said, going back to some of the books that you have written, is there another book of poetry on the horizon at all?
Yes, actually, I just did one like 2 weeks ago. It's called actually, it's a really good one, Healing for the Soul. Forgive me. And that one is a really I'm a very spiritual person, so with that in mind, going through COVID and things personally I went through last year and this year as well, I feel like we need more positivity. We need to be more on our spiritual side. Let's put it that way. Definitely, no doubt. And I just feel like we need that, and to embrace ourselves. And just as a person going through so much things in your life personally, and maybe in any way you can, I think utilize that overall, and just go out there and embrace people and help them. And that's why this poetry book is called Healing for the Soul, and just to help people heal. And this is a time of the year that I think is definitely needed for everyone to heal at that time.
Man,
it's needed.
Yeah. Well, I definitely want to commend you
Thank
also
you.
for some of the awards and recognitions you have gotten for your work. I mean, one
Thank
is
you.
in the Courage of Medal Award from the Domestic Violence to Master Truth event. You got a
Oh
recognition award for your
yes.
performance at the LDM Women's Empowerment Showcase.
Thank you. That's
Nominee for the LDM Award show for pop and Latin category. I mean, you just doing the damn thing, and we appreciate that so much.
thank
It's
you.
one of those things where you got somebody who's yes focused on the craft as an artist at the same
Yes.
time they're doing the work in the community, and that's what makes a
Yes.
big difference. And I
Definitely.
just want to know in terms of New York City right now, I mean, what is the vibe there right now in terms of the pandemic, in terms of finding ways to contribute and just kind of lift everybody's spirits around you? Because we all know that type of practice acts like a lack of a better word, I don't want to say virus, but in a good way. It just spreads like wildfire when you're doing something positive.
Right.
Definitely, definitely. I would say overall, going through this pandemic, it's been tough. And, in New York City right now, as we speak, we're slowly, it's a slow pace, getting back where we was before COVID happened last year. And I think it's gonna take time, but I think we're gonna be more than ever stronger than we always. You know how New Yorkers we do in general.
Yeah.
We whatever stuff they're throwing to us, we fight right back and we get right back on our feet. And with that in mind, I just feel like it's gonna get better in due time. And I know, like I said, it's been tough. A lot of people have lost their lives, and it's been
Yeah.
hard. It's been hard. And we just gotta appreciate life, man.
Yeah.
Couldn't said it
I'm in
better
total.
myself.
I know.
Thank
I'm in
you.
total agreement, man.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
So
guys.
FX. So FX, you got a quick final question for her?
Just a quick one. And I always like to ask our artists this question.
Okay.
And it's always about the artist. It's always about the artist. And I have to ask you, what would be your top 5 R&B artists that you probably either play in your car or just listen to? Like, what would be your top 5 R&B?
That's a good question. First, I'm gonna just say Alicia Keys. That's the first of. She's one of my main role models. Her, I believe, after Mariah Carey. Of course, Whitney Houston. She's the three. I mean, top 3 right there. I believe Celine Dion, and for the younger generation, I would say Ariana Grande. Actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can
All
go with
right.
that.
And
I like, 'cause I
yeah,
like it
yeah.
myself. So.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got a quick follow-up question to that one as well. I
Sure.
mean, if you had an opportunity to work on a project with any artist, 5
Right.
artists, dead or alive, who would it be? And that's
Oh
any
man.
genre.
Oh man. Oh, this is a really tough one, man. Oh man. Well, I mean, the one who passed away, I will say one. Okay, two. One who's living now, and one that passed away. Well, she's no longer here, but Aretha Franklin. That would be, oh, just amazing. Just oh man. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
no doubt, no doubt. And then who's living now? I would say Neo. I love his work
Oh.
ethic, and he's an amazing producer, and I would love to work with him. Yeah.
Yeah, incredible songwriter too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's
Oh
a
yeah.
lot of people don't know he's written a lot of songs for a lot of artists. He don't
Yeah,
get enough credit for
Beyonce.
it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the list goes
His
on.
list is long.
Definitely.
Good picks.
All
I
right,
like
so
that.
she got a few more artists to go.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You did say top 5, right?
You ain't running away from this question. Nah, come on.
Right.
See, now this is you mentioned the name and you was right on point. Selena, the original Selena, who
Yes.
passed away. I idolize her. I mean, just love her work and the way she did things. And if she was here to this day, I would be honored to work with her. I mean, my God, yeah. All right, so see who else we have. Okay, oh my life. Okay, oh gosh, I don't know. I guess Lady Gaga would be great to work with her. Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Yeah, something different. Yeah.
All right. Well,
Good
look.
picks. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you.
Look, I just want to say thank you for coming on to this episode of Party Life and Music Radio.
Yes.
Not a progress. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Round
Yes,
of applause
definitely,
for
definitely.
her. Yes, Miss Vero G.
Definitely.
Yes.
Thank you.
All the way from NYC. That's what I'm talking
Hey.
about.
Yeah, Lower East Side. Yeah.
Yes.
Represent, baby. Yes.
Yes, and
Awesome.
definitely for Women's History Month as well. We want to thank you again for being a
Yes.
part of
Aw,
the episode as well.
Thank
And
you.
any last inspiring words before we close out with your hit?
Of course, definitely, guys. My last thing I would say to everyone who's listening, and just love yourself. Second of all, just be humble. And as an artist out there, anybody who's listening as artist, independent artist, upcoming artist, take this serious. If this is your life, put your heart and soul into it, because you never know who could be hearing or listening, and you never know who you could reach out to, and that sorts, with that. But I do want to add real quickly before I get out of here. A big shout out to you guys. A big shout
Thank
out
you.
to you're
Thanks.
welcome. You're
Appreciate
welcome, guys. Not a problem. Big shout out to my amazing supporters, Gary, Gemini Sachs, Jason Murillo, everybody out there who's just showing me love. And yes, guys, also I have a magazine real quickly. It's called Vero Spotlight Magazine. You guys can check it out. We have March issue already out. You can check it out at www.madcloud.com. And just to support that if you guys can. And much love to you guys. And if you guys want to find me, you already know, just Facebook, Vero G, my artist page. My Instagram is Diva and Diamonds. And my website is www.verogmusic.com.
All right.
There it is.
Well, look,
All right.
again, one more time for Vero G.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right. And we're going to close this out with her hit track, Come With Me, featuring Cuban Link.
Yes.
So this concludes this episode. I am DJ Wahid.
And I am DJ FX.
Along with our guest, Vero G.
There you go. There it is.
All right, y'all. We are out. Next week is March 30th. It is the last week of March, Women's History Month. I got a banging mix with some female artists. So that's next week. But look, y'all, love each other, and we are out.
Be good, y'all. Stay safe.
Come with me.
Mami, vente conmigo. Sé que tú no estás contenta con él. Se te ve en tus ojos perdido. Él ya no te sabe querer.
Vente conmigo. Come with me. Vente conmigo. Come with me. Can't you see we're meant to be? Give me your love, just one shot to make you mine. Show you to love you and blow your mind. Tú eres mío, yo soy tuya. A love so divine.
Yeah. Show me your love. Yeah. You always think you love me. Show me your love. Mami, vente conmigo. Sé que tú no estás contenta con él. Se te ve en tus ojos perdido. Él ya no te sabe querer. Chiquitica, vente conmigo. Pa' poder acariciarte tu piel. Darte besitos de cabeza hasta el ombligo. Ven conmigo, olvídate de él. So baby, are you gonna come with me? Ven, mami, let me set you free. I need to know right now. Are you down to ride or die? Ride or die?
You're the one for me. Boy, papi, I'ma follow your lead. And I'ma hold you down till the day I die. Cause you're my guy, my ride
I bet your man can't do it like that. No cap, still at 24 karat gold Mac. Let's throw back rapper that'll give you no slack. Hold that. I'ma freak you till your eyes roll back. And have your toes tapping like a ballerina when you up in my arena. Give you that vitamina, make you proud to be Latina. And change your whole demeanor, it'll have you feeling leaner. From the way you talk to the way that you caminas. Word of Selena, I've been dreaming of you, even you do. So we can do what we've been meaning to do. It's us two, no one else needs to be in the crew. Up in the mountaintop together, overseeing the view. Am I being a fool? And believing that you love me and always thinking of me. Girl, why don't you just leave? It must be a reason, don't hush me. You told me to trust you, now trust me. Mami, vente conmigo. Sé que tú no estás contenta con él. Se te ve en tus ojos perdido. Él ya no te sabe querer. Chiquitica, vente conmigo, pa' poder acariciarte tu piel, darte besitos de cabeza hasta el ombligo. Ven conmigo, olvídate de él.